Man, what's up, world? What's up, everybody? We want to get straight into it. Not gonna keep you too long on this subject, but um, Joe Biden is at it again. Him and his administration are looking to um, fund Ukraine even more by trying to get the Senate and Congress to pass 33 billion additional dollars to support the efforts going on in Ukraine. And earlier in the year, we talked about the 13.6 billion that they had already allocated towards helping Ukraine in this situation. And now it looks like they are back at it again with another 33 billion. And I think another 2 billion has already or is in the works of being passed. So they just say they are basically uh, giving about $50 billion in aid and to support Ukraine. I get into the article, but before we do it, I just want to say right now our country is facing inflation, rampant inflation. Home prices are ridiculous. You know, $400,000 homes really are only, what we see now really were only worth a few years ago $200,000, if that. And now you barely can get a 3, 4 bedroom home for almost $500,000, a basic home. And their salaries aren't going up. You aren't getting higher wages. Gas prices are going up. Food costs and necessities are going up. And we're steady driving up the budget by spending more money trying to fund this Ukrainian situation. Now, I know the Ukrainian situation is an unfortunate situation and there's some horrible things going on. But at the same time, is this really, what do you think though? Is this really our fight? Is this really our position to get this deeply involved? A lot of people may say $50 billion is not a lot of money. Well, think about the homeless situation going on in the United States. Think about the educators who are constantly underfunded. Think about these universities that don't have the allocated funds to meet their basic needs to educate our people. Thinking about some of these communities and some of these cities like Detroit, Chicago, parts of Florida, and a lot of these places that have enhanced crime and due to poverty stricken neighborhoods. There's a lot of educational services that could be funded with a lot of this money. And let's be honest, you know Black Americans, foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slaves, have still been talking about reparations. And there has been not even one payment made towards reparations. And so we can spend $50 billion to help Ukraine, but we can't even discuss or negotiate, a reparations installment or payment or some type of subsidy or some type of incentive to, help out, Black American brothers and sisters who were actually affected by you know by racism and slavery. So Biden ups his ante and asks for 33 billion in addition funding for basically Ukraine. And I'm just gonna scroll down to this part real quick. All right, so here it is right here. All right. The cost of the fight is not cheap, but caving to aggression is going to be more costly if we let it happen. Biden said in remarks to the White House, "We either back the Ukrainian people as they defend their country, or we stand by as the Russians continue their aggression and autocracies in Ukraine." Now, the money would mean weapons and ammunition, as well as to help Ukrainian citizens displaced and suffering because of the war will continue to flow to the besieged nation. While Congress authorized money for Ukraine in a bipartisan spending bill last month, basically we're out of money. The president said. Of the 33 billion, 20 billion will be for military aid, and 8.5 billion will go for economic aid. Now, where's the economic aid for our own country? I mean, people are struggling at the grocery stores. People can't even find adequate housing. Rent is going up. These apartment prices are are just ridiculous. But we steady can do this. And my thing is this here: when has there ever been a time when all people got along? You know, all people are just not going to get along, and it's not our place to step in and try to intervene all the time. All European nations don't get along with each other. Just like when you had, the Nazis, in World War II, Hitler, was fighting, Poland and fighting Russia and he was from Germany and he was invading all of these different places. Just look at, Asia. The Chinese don't rock with the Japanese, and the Japanese don't rock with the Koreans, and the Koreans don't rock with the Vietnamese. Like, you have all of these different people that do not get along. So why do we feel like we have to be the fixer of the world's problems? You have the Africans. All Nigerians don't get along with the Sudanese. The Tutsi don't get along with the Hutu. If you go to the middle, what we call the Middle East, you may have the Sunni Muslims don't get along with the Shia Muslims. The Christians don't get along with the Protestants. The Protestants don't get along with, the Baptists or the Catholics. There is so much, black people in Chicago may not get along with black people in Dallas, and black people in California may not get along with black people in Florida or New York, or whatever the case may be. It's just, there's so much, inconsistency as far as trying to make everybody get along. Why do we have to sit here and spend our money and our time trying to help situations, like that? Hey, what's up, Shay? What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, it's trying to be the trying to hold everybody's hand and try to make all of these situations pan out how we want them to go. So I just want y'all to pay attention to that, because it just kind of feels like us as a people that situations like this happen so often, but we are not paying attention to it. And I don't know what it is about this guy, man, who makes it, who feels like this, but there are other European nations in the EU, right? You got, Great Britain, you have, Germany, you have, Portugal, Spain, all of these other different countries in Europe that can help subsidize some of this money to help Ukraine. Why does America, the USA, have to come up with the 33 billion? Why can't you reach out to Great Britain, the Queen, and say, hey, Queen, we need about 10 billion? Reach out to, Germany, Angela Merkel and them and her people. I just don't understand, why do we feel like we have to come in and save everybody when we can't even save our own country? We can't even save our own citizens, right? So anyways, I saw this this other little part where where Van Jones was talking about how real quick, I'm gonna stop sharing that, but how he was saying that under Joe Biden, it seems like Black Americans are suffering more than more than ever under him. And I just wanted to kind of just show this article a little bit. Let's see if I can find it. All right, here it is right here. For those of y'all, like I said, this is not for everybody, but for those of us that have a like minds and who can, who don't just think about the next TikTok video or when the next Errol Spence fight coming out, or man, that stuff cool, fine and good, but if we not versed or well versed or versatile enough to have a good balance on what's important and what's going on in our community and just entertainment and fun, then we are missing out, and we're doing ourselves and our children a disservice. So anyway, Van Jones goes on to say, day-to-day reality for Black folks has gotten worse under Biden, says CNN Van Jones, right? Let me see if I can play this. Fair use. Hope I don't get a strike, but fair use. I know it's going to probably be a commercial.
Do you know?
Right, let me mute the commercial, and then I'll let it play right after the commercial, because I want to hear what it says myself. But as it's going through, it's just many of us have said this, and that's why when you see me with my my Trump shirt on, is because I feel like that when it came down to it, when Ice Cube had made the contract with Black America, who met with him? It sure wasn't Joe Biden. They didn't take time to meet with him. It was Donald Trump who had sat down to meet with him about the issue. So here you go.
I think Harry used 4 or 5 bigs in terms of how he was trying to describe the drop in approval among Black voters. What do you see happening here?
Well, I think that there's a disappointment factor that's set in. I think a lot of Black voters feel like the Black community gave the most during the election, as a historic election 2020, and have gotten the least. If you look at voting rights, so far, nothing. Police reform, so far, nothing. You look at some of the student loan stuff, very little. So what was motivating African American voters, left, right, and otherwise, were that somebody was going to come to our rescue. The day-to-day reality for Black folks hasn't improved. In fact, because of inflation and other things, gotten worse. And so you're starting to see that disappointment factor set in.
Do you think it will change the voting patterns?
Well, listen, I think that it may well. Also, don't forget, you have had a concerted effort on the part of conservatives to recast the Republican Party as the party of the multiracial working class. Republicans have moved right on cultural issues. We react to that. They've moved left on some economic issues. You see Republicans more open to, tariffs, more open to protecting American workers, that kind of stuff. And so I think we underreact as Democrats to the left move of on economics from Republicans, sometimes overreact to their move to the right on culture, and are missing a big chunk of folks who are moving away from us in the Black community.
The president's approval rating is down overall, not just among Black voters here.
Sure.
What do you think is going on?
Inflation. I mean, listen, that's at the end of the day.
And I can stop right there because I think we all get the gist. The point is that all these promises that were made that a lot of Black people use as justification to vote for Joe Biden are just aren't coming to fruition. So, make sure you're paying attention for who you vote for and the reasons you vote for them. Man, otherwise I'm out. I just want to cover that. I ain't gonna keep you guys too long. I know attention spans get real short. But I hope you guys take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Hope you have a great week. And I'm out. Peace.